Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. And with me today, I have Rafael from Mighty Dog Roofing of Richmond. Sorry. Mighty Dog Roofing of Richmond, which is a really cool name. And I've been kind of dying to ask you, what's the story behind the name of your brand?
So, before telling the story behind the name, do you know why we have a dog?
Oh.
Do you know what dog does? They roof.
They.
So yeah, it's a really cool name. Mighty Dog is a franchise. We are located in almost all states across the U.S. I was the first franchisee to be here in Virginia. There is another guys on close to Newport News, Hampton Roads, and there are two other guys on North Virginia.
Okay.
So when I bought the territory, I decided that Richmond is the place where I want to work. And my territory goes from Fredericksburg to Petersburg and from Williamsburg to Charlottesville.
Oh, you guys have like a wide range in Virginia.
Yeah, it's a really wide.
So I think you did a great job in picking this location. I know that it's a very growing area, especially the range that you guys have. You guys do more than just roofing, right?
That's right. So we do roofing, gutters, also siding and windows. Those are siding and windows are we don't do that too much. We do a lot of siding replacement, but our main focus are on roofing and gutters. So those kind of those two lines, for especially for a homeowner, is really important because the roof and gutters a lot of time act as one.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
What are some things that like a homeowner should be paying attention to on their roof and their gutters that might be a sign that they should call you to come and help them?
Sure. So I think first, the most important thing is to know how old is the roof. As a rule of thumb, on the first 10 years, you don't have to worry about nothing on the roof. You can do some annual inspection on the roof, and we can offer that to the homeowners to do that.
So like if they're buying a new house, do an inspection on it?
That's the most important. So
Yeah.
when you are buying the house, it's really important to have a complete roof inspection, and not only the roof, also the rest of the house on the foundation, things like that. Based on that, you can decide if you want to move forward with the buying the house. You can plan that if you know that the roof is going to be 20 years old in 2 more years, you have time to start planning for that.
That's true.
But what we can see almost every time that we go to do an inspection, the homeowners, when I ask, oh, do you know how old is the roof? I don't know. We had just moved here 1 year ago. Oh, but when you bought the house 1 year ago, did you go through an inspection? No, the market was so hot that if we decide to do an inspection, someone else was going to move to that house. So we do every time we get into that, I climb the roof, take a look on the roof. We can check if it's a 5 years old roof. That's quite new, and you can see that on the roof. But mostly of the case are like 15, 20 years.
Oh, wow. What are some signs that a roof is old?
So if we are talking about shingle roof, it's pretty easy to see, for example, how good or bad are the granules, the asphalt granules on the roof. Once the roof starts losing granules, you will start seeing some cracking, blistering, nail pops. All of that are signs that the roof is old, but also that the ventilation on the attic is wrong. Like a rule of thumb, if you are going up to the attic on summer, and the attic is 20 degrees more than outside, that's meaning that you have a ventilation problem.
Really?
So, and when you think what's the ventilation cause on your roof, it shortens the lifespan. So, for example, if we are talking about dimensional shingles, they are supposed to last 40, 50 years maybe, but if you have a poor ventilation, that will go down to 25, 30 years.
That's a whole 10 years, and then if not more.
Right.
Ugh. And roofing's expensive.
It's really expensive. It's not that much expensive, but what you have to think is all the roofing materials are linked to the oil price.
Mm.
So what we have been seeing on the last 4 or 5 years, that you have to expect the cost of putting a new roof on your house to be double every 4 to 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, so it's when I go to the house, to the homeowner, do the inspection, and the roof, they have like 1 or 2 more years of life. I says the homeowner, for me, if it's not leaking, don't do nothing until it start leaking. But you have to take into account that uh, all the roofing companies are receiving price increase in materials every quarter. Those price increase has been between 6% to 10%. And that means that replacing the roof in 10 more years, sorry, in 1 more year is going to be almost 15, 20% more
Oof.
than what it is right now.
I have heard, because have a lot of contractors that come in here, and I have heard from them that it's not even that the cost of materials have gone up for the manufacturers themselves, but that they've upped the market price for those materials for you guys buying them. And so that's why it costs so much more for consumers to get stuff done around their home.
Sure, I think there are some materials that are mainly the price increase could be.
Sorry, my stomach's growling. I skipped lunch today. I had a big meeting.
So for some materials, they are going to be just linked to oil prices. But other materials are, I don't know, if, for example, if that's kind of fancy, shingles start to get more popular.
Oh, so like based on material that's used or demand in that material?
Yeah, that's going to affect. So, for example, for common shingles, you're going to be fine almost every color that you want on the market. But if you go into the high end, for example, I don't know, the Grand Manor, that is a certain roof materials, or for example, for Slate Line or for GAF, there are materials that are not easy to find. And
they're harder to source, and
the distributors know, so it says, okay, I can give you, but the price is not going to be that. It's going to be a little bit higher because, first of all, they have to bring the material from other state some of the time.
Sometimes from out of the country too, which can be even more expensive.
That's right, but in general, almost all the shingles are done here in the U.S.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's good to know. We like to shop within the U.S. We like to shop locally.
That's right.
So you guys use drones too. What is the difference that you've noticed using that technology in the way that you guys produce your work?
Sure. So I think one short story, when I decided to move into roofing, that was one of the rules my wife put in me.
Really?
Yes, she don't want me to have an accident. So safety first always for the roofer, for my roofing company. To be able to climb a 2-story house that is a high pitch, for me, it's you have to be an expert to go up and take a look. Some of the time, for example, if I have my sales guy going to the roof inspection, I don't want to receive a call from the hospital saying, hey, this guy fell off the roof. With the drone, instead of spending, I don't know, maybe an hour doing inspection, you can spend like 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And you can have a really nice pictures, and you can detect almost everything. It's hard to detect with drones hail damage, but almost everything that you can see what state of the art of the flashing, how are the granules and the cracks, if there's any nail pop or nail exposed. It's pretty easy to find.
Catch those things.
Yeah.
Drones are really cool. They really have made a big difference in just all around all the industries. And I do agree with you that it makes a huge difference in the safety of your employees when they go. Because I'm scared of heights. I can't. I'm not a big fan of getting up in high places.
I'm not a big fan of that also, but it's part of my job. For example, for some commercial jobs, I know that you cannot see the same if you climb the roof or doing with a drone. So for flat roof, there is only one way to do it. That is climb the roof.
Yikes.
But it's flat, so the risk is less than a high pitch roof.
That's true, because it's not as slanted, I suppose. That makes sense. So what's your favorite project that you've worked on? It's maybe one you did in the past, maybe one you did recently, but you still think about it and you're really proud of it.
Oof. So I think in general is when you go and take a look for special roof that are not the typical shingle roof. So, for example, I did an inspection on a couple of months ago on a house that is a big house, has a really expensive roof on top of that, and the guys was having not one or two, it was having more than four leaks.
What?
So and they have bought the house like 4 months ago, and again the same as I tell you before, they didn't went through a roof inspection. So they asked me, hey, please, can you go up and take a look on that? And you can imagine that putting this new roof on top of that house was going to be around a 60, 70,000
Whoa.
dollar project.
That's a big project.
And when I went up and take a look, I was not able to believe what I was seeing. So the guys that did the roof, they didn't know what they were doing. They put some patch on the new roof, several parts. There's one section that there was not even plywood or any kind of sheeting underneath. And that was one of the reasons. So unfortunately, when you have that, you can say that's the only solution is you have to hire someone that knows what they are talking about. So when you go with these special shingles, you have to know what you are doing, what kind of material. Why you cannot use the 1.25 inch nails, and you have to go with a longer one. There is a reason why, but people uh, sometimes go with the cheapest labor, and that means that the roof that was supposed to be there for 40 years is going to be there for only less than 4 or 5 years.
I know that with a lot of storm chasers recently, and I know storm chasers are really bad for your business because, well, I guess they're really good for your business because they do a bad job on people's roofs and they end up calling you to come and fix the problem.
That's
But
right.
how can you, what are some signs of storm chasers that consumers can pay attention to? And why is it important that they go to bbb.org and find accredited businesses like you?
So yeah, so it's in general when you have big hail or big storms, there are going to be a lot of knockers
Mm-hmm.
going through the neighborhood. There was one big storm, I think it was in 2016. It goes here to next where we are right now.
Really?
Uh, we receive here like 6 or 7 different companies from outstate, most of them coming from Texas. Uh,
And they probably don't have proper licenses either.
no, they didn't have any kind of license. So they knock a lot of doors. They did a lot of roof replacement, and now on the last year we have started receiving calls. Hey, my roof is start leaking, and there is a common pattern. All the roof
Yeah.
replaced on that year. And when I asked, hey, but do you know who made that roof? Yeah, it was a company. Do you have the phone number? Yeah, we tried to call them back, but they don't answer. Are they local? No, they were from Texas. I says, okay, that's why. Always you want to make sure that uh, if someone's knocked the doors on your house, do a roof inspection, present you a quote, uh, you have to be really smart and ask at least 2 or 3 different estimate. If the price are not big difference, go with the local company.
Mm-hmm.
That is someone that we will have any kind of issues in the future. There is someone that you can go and take a look. If you can go and check the reviews, check them if they are in BBB. It's really important. You are putting a big investment on their
Yeah.
hands, and a big investment done and properly is going to be always a waste of money and waste of time.
That's why I always tell people the accredited businesses that come in here and they do the podcast and they talk about their businesses and they forewarn consumers. They really care and they love about what they do. They
Yep.
love their consumers. They love the service that they provide to the community. Shopping local and shopping bbb.org is so important because they find businesses like you, accredited businesses that uphold the values of honesty, integrity, and truth, that they don't have to worry about their roof going bad in 4 years,
Sure.
which is why them listening to the podcast and listening to you, doing business with you is going to make a big difference. It's going to help us create a marketplace that starts with trust.
That's right.
And how can how can people get in touch with you?
So we have a web page where you can go and put all your information, or you can call us. We have a phone number that is on BBB webpage. That's very important. And also I'm the business owner. I receive phone calls from different people. I don't know. I just received your business card. You were recommended by someone else. So there's different ways. You can go to social media, Facebook, Instagram. If you don't even want, if you even can go to LinkedIn and look for us there. There's different ways to reach us, or you can go to Google. You can go and take the same time and check our reviews. There's a really good one. There are different ways to reach us.
I love it. Love it when there are no gatekeepers and owners of companies answer their phone calls for consumers.
Sure.
Anyone that is watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below on the video. It really helps the algorithm out and get the word out there for people. And if you're listening on Spotify, please make sure to follow us, like us, and share the audio out. You never know, you might be stuck in traffic and want something to listen to. Also, sorry for my stomach growling at you. I did miss lunch today, but we're human, so it happens. Rafael, thank you for coming in and talking to me today.
Thank you.
Of course. Bye.